Hi everyone, it's me, Krylios, Team Rayceen Productions MC and producer. And joining me today by my side, as per usual, is the legendary queen of the Shameless blog and goddess of DC, Rayceen Pendarvis.
Greetings and salutations all.
Hey Rayceen.
How are you, my beloveds?
Doing wonderful. And we have a great guest joining us today. We have from the studio theater, Reginald Douglas.
Hello. How are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Awesome, awesome. Great to know, great to know. So Reginald, let us begin with, giving me a little bit about your background, how you got involved with the studio theater, and a little bit about the studio theater's history.
Sure. So I'm really excited to be here with all of you and in DC. I moved to DC in January for my job at Studio Theater. So I'm still new to the organization, new to the city, but I went to college here. So it feels like a homecoming in so many ways. And your Studio Theaters it's DC's home for contemporary plays, bold stories, new work, and it fits everything I love about theater. Provocative stories, politically charged conversations, and a real power and support for the community. So all the things I love about theater and making art, I get to do for my job. So I can't complain. And I'm a director, so telling stories is what I always have done. I've always been a behind the scenes guy, never wanted to be on stage acting. I've always loved being behind the scenes, helping to put the story together. So now as a director and producer, I get to do that with the great staff at Studio. And with organizations like yours, we're able to really reach deep into the community and bring more people into the conversation and into the audience to enjoy the stories that we tell.
And that's wonderful. And that's so important, especially now more than ever, when you talk about doing the work inside and outside of the theater and your community work that the Studio Theater does, all of the outside projects and inviting community in and opening the space to make everyone feel safe, affirming, and welcome. And
nice to hear.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a wonderful place. I've had the privilege and the honor to host Capitol Trans Pride there for many years, along with several films and play talkbacks. And I think it's so important, the work you do. So tell us more about the work, the community work that Studio Theater does.
I love what you said about creating a safe space and a welcoming space. I think a lot about how we can invite people to come and feel like they're at home when you're at Studio. I hope you can feel at home on 14th and P. And that's always my goal. I think a theater's job is, yes, to produce plays, but those plays should reflect the community and the world back to us in ways that only our imagination can. The gift of artists, they're able to take the newspaper or take the history book and infuse it with creativity and life and light. And that's what the best playwrights do. That's the plays that we're attracted to at Studio. And so in order for those plays to be successful, they need to be in conversation with their community. Our job is to tell stories about the world around us for the world. And so I'm always thinking about, let's get more audience in, more creative voices at the table. So partnering with organizations like yours, with Duke Ellington, with Howard University, with Georgetown University, with Whitman Walker, with In Street Village, all these organizations that reflect DC. I want all of them to feel that Studio can be a place where they can be part of the conversation, where they can feel at home, that the stories we tell reflect their truth. Our job as artists is to reflect the world around us as it could be. And we need to do that with as many voices as possible.
And I mean, it's so wonderful that a place like this exists, especially for organizations and places and people who want a place and a space to stage what they want to stage, to say what they want to say. You know what I mean? Because having that space, having that stage is very, 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 very important. And I'm so happy that a place like the Studio Theater exists in our community, that we are able, to be blessed enough to use that space. Studio Theatre once hosted Team Rayceen Productions, an event by Team Rayceen Productions with poet Jericho Brown. That was in 2019. And then he went on to win the Nobel, literally the Nobel Prize for Literature for that book. What was it called? The Tradition. The same one he promoted there. He went on to win a Nobel Prize. So look at that. Studio Theatre is hosting, honey. That magic touch that is needed. I love it. I love it. Tell me, since you have been there, I know this year has been, very, very crazy. So, yeah, very different. 2020 has been, very, very different. Tell me about how you guys had to adapt to the challenges of 2020.
Our show Passover had to be canceled like a week after it opened. So we were thrust into figuring it out. So we had to cancel productions, and that's a hard call. You're having to tell artists some really bad news. The best part of my job is saying, you're hired. And I had to say something a little different. Yeah. The thing that wasn't lost, and I'm very proud and inspired by this fact when we look back on it, is that yes, the medium changed and it broke basically. Being together in person to share a story wasn't possible. It wasn't healthy. But the stories weren't broken. The artists weren't broken. They were still thinking and creating. And so we adapted to audio work, to digital work, to providing a platform on our website, on our social media to keep the stories going. Because the stories that we're telling about this world and about this moment, boy, are they needed right now. Reflections from Black artists on what it means to be a Black man, a Black woman, a Black person living in this moment. I want to hear those voices, even if we can't do it at 14th and P. We can do it online. We can do it through audio plays. We can do it through film work. So we transitioned, we pivoted, but we also got deeper into our purpose, I think, and our purpose is to really be a community connector, to be a conversation catalyst, and to be a place where creatives can express themselves and audiences can learn and engage with their stories. That work doesn't stop, no matter who's in office, no matter what the CDC says. The power of conversation and the power of art to bring people together, I still believe is real. This conversation we're having right now is a great example.
There we go.
It's great to be in person, but we're still talking.
Yes.
You're still connecting, our organization
telling stories
telling stories. Yes. I think we're all learning as a country, but definitely as Studio Theatre, we're learning how to live our truth and our purpose more fully, more deeply, because we urgently have to.
Yeah.
In the midst of what feels like so much negativity, lack of a better word, we're having to realize our job, our responsibility is still vitally urgent and important. And so I'm really proud of the work we've been able to do to support artists, particularly Black voices in this moment in our country's ongoing plight for racial justice. To be able to support Black artists has been something I'm very proud of for our organization, to open the doors of our lobbies to protesters throughout the year as rallies and protests continue. We said our lobby is a safe space. It's open. Come use the bathroom, come get some water, come breathe, take a breath. So we've been able to really lean into our mission, even though the curtains are down right now.
How about that? And I think when you talk about curtains are down, I think about the work that so many of my artist friends, singers, poets, dancers, writers, once everybody took hold of what was happening, and in the midst of everything, creation.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
And it was like artists started saying, I'm finishing my CD. I'm doing my one-woman play.
Yes.
I'm finally finishing my novel. I'm creating in the midst of the chaos.
Yeah.
Comes
so much inspiration.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So much.
I think about how we adapted. Czar, Nikki, myself, Krylios, Team Rayceen, volunteers, everybody's like, what can we do to celebrate and support what you're doing? And we created this village within the digital platform.
Yes.
And has grown to all of where we are today. And it didn't get there easily. It
Yeah.
wasn't an easy plan. But
Learning curve.
we jumped in, cried, pulling, kicking, and screaming, and said, how, what, and where do we go with this? And to have moments such as this where we are speaking and talking and forging bonds is so important. And I think about, what are some of your plans and hope for 2021?
Yes.
Yeah, you know, studio's got a plan for 2021. We have a season. I hope audiences will come out and support. It's happening in different mediums. We're calling it In the Moment, so we can adapt and pivot as the moment pivots, as things change. But it comes back to everything you're saying, you know, it's the stories are leading the way. The artists are still alive and urgent and creating amazing work. And our job is to support and uplift them. So we're doing studio in your ears. So audio plays, we commissioned some writers, including Chicago-based writer Ike Holter, this brilliant African-American gay man who is telling the truth.
Yes.
His play, I Hate It Here, Reflections from This Pandemic, is awesome. That's gonna be an audio production. So that's new for us. David Muse, our artistic director, and I are gonna go back into the building and create a play that will then film and purposely adapt to be shared over Zoom. So that's one of our plans for 2021, a play called Cock that David produced in about 2014, won the Helen Hayes Award, and then a play that I've always loved called Until the Flood, which this brilliant writer, J.L. Orlando Smith, wrote, inspired by Michael Brown and his death in Ferguson. And unfortunately, those themes are yet alive.
Yes.
And so I'll be doing a reflection on that piece with 3 brilliant Black women. And that's coming out in 2021. And then we're hoping to be back in the building, you know, getting audiences back together inside the space, socially distant, you know, smaller houses, but letting artists lead the way. And so Studio First Person is going to be 4 solo plays produced in repertory, a mini festival, if you will. So letting 4 different storytellers, Lisa Crone's play, 2.5-minute ride, Will Powers' play, Flow, directed by Soleimani 24, DC's king of the stage, is coming back to studio to direct that production. A world premiere, you know, a brand new world premiere called Tender Age, which is all about the deportation of Mexican children, which is still happening. You know, it may not be in the news anymore, but that's still happening. We're going to shine a spotlight on that story. And a play called Random by Debbie Tucker Green, who's one of the fiercest Black British writers, making her DC debut. So we're in the moment, you know. The other thing is we'll be continuing all of our community partnership work, you know.
Yes.
The building is painted with Black Lives Matter right now, and quotes from John Lewis and Dr. King, and that spirit will be yet alive in 2021, that our institution is a safe space for all of our community.
Yes.
A home for all of our audiences in DC where everyone can feel welcome. We want to put our values on display in 2020 as well. So I'm excited to be working with Howard University and Duke Ellington and supporting those young Black artists and wherever they want to take us next, because they're going to lead. Generation's going to lead. So that's what's up for 2021.
I love that.
We're figuring it out.
Gotta figure it out. You know, for the viewers out there who they are committed to this movement, they are committed to that art, and they want to see studio theater continue being that beacon of art right here in our city. Tell me, how can people donate to the studio theater? Sure. How can they follow you? How can they keep up with what's going on and what's coming next?
Yeah, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. But also our website. We have a brand new website. So I'm really excited for people to check that out, studiotheater.org. You'll see information on how to donate, how to support our projects that are coming up, whether that's digital, audio, or in person. You'll also see information about our partnerships. You can learn more about the organizations I mentioned that we're supporting. Because I think what I see in your spirits, and I know from your work, it's all about connections. It's all about community connections. And so our website is a platform for other artists and other organizations. So studiotheater.org, check out the new website. And of course, go to social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And our marketing team is keeping all the information flowing because they're learning how to pivot too.
Yes.
So we're all in it together.
We are
Please
all
check us out.
learning. Thank you. Listen, thanks so much, Reginald, for joining us
Thank
today.
you.
It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for being that light in our community. Thank you to Studio Theater for being that beacon in our community. And you guys mean so much to the District of Columbia and artists and community members alike.
Thank you. And back at you. Thank you for all the work you're doing and for having us on.
Thank you.
We receive it. And most of all, thank you, viewers, for watching.